What's up? What's up? What's up, Hillman family? It's your boy, Ray, aka DJ Diggy. What's going on? Nick, what's up?
What up, what up, what up, fam? We're happy to be here. Ray, check in. What's up? How was your day?
Man, everything is good. We're not even really going to talk about how my week has been, and I'm just so excited that I am back up. I'm running, you know. You never know how important Wi-Fi is until you don't have it, right?
Which is why we're posting late. So we apologize for posting late. We had some literally technical difficulties getting us out to you, but we're excited to be back on the air and to give the fans what they want.
Yeah, and we got the new B intros. Shout out to Devin Barkley and Barkley Music, the hooking it up for the intro music, right?
Yes. Yeah,
Oh,
so hot. I
beating,
love it so much.
right?
We're gonna tag him when we post this episode so y'all can know where that 5 beat come from. I love it. Today we're
Absolute
talking
fact.
about episode 4. We're still in season 1, episode 4. This episode talks about tutoring and your reputation. Couldn't get that out on campus. Those two things, right?
Oh, right. Yeah, no doubt. Definitely. This is probably getting into realism when it comes to college, right? This is a good episode. I rock with it.
Yeah. So this is the first time we see Sinbad on the episode, right?
First time we see Daryl Bell. For those who don't know who Daryl Bell is, Ron Johnson,
hmm Yep, he's in the
we get to,
background, but he's gonna be front and center later in the season. So I'm excited.
and it's real funny how, like people mostly say, you don't recognize when people actually come in. You just know when they kind of like the star, right? Nobody recognizes like the first time they like, oh, I did see them in the first couple episodes. I didn't even realize it,
Yeah, yeah.
till they get some lines.
He had to earn them. It's like being a crab in the band, right? He had to earn his
Right.
spot on the scene.
Had
So he ain't earned it
had
yet.
to earn it. Oh, most
He,
definitely, most
I think
definitely.
he like had a cameo another episode, but he didn't say nothing. This is the first time he actually speaks on the show.
He got
So I wanted to shout that
he
out.
got this. You barely see his face, like, but you can recognize that voice, right?
Yeah, that's what it
If you
was.
Now that you've heard his voice, they've implanted it in your head. So as you move forward within the season, you're gonna recognize that voice. You're gonna love it. That's just how it is. And Sinbad is just as funny as Sinbad can be, right? So,
Yeah.
man, it was definitely a good episode, man. I enjoyed it.
What else do we know Sinbad from, though? I mean, I know he's a comedian, but didn't he have another show besides that one?
He had he was a genie in a movie back in the day.
He was
He
a
was he was
genie.
he was a genie. I felt like he had his own show that was like similar to that. Like what would you
I think
call
so
those? You
too.
wouldn't
I
call
can't
it,
remember it.
but he did have a show. It was kind of like one of those shows like Hanging with Mr. Cooper.
That's what I think of, but I
Yeah.
know he wasn't hanging Mr. Cooper. But I think of, oh, House of Guests and Jingle All the Way. Those are two things that he was in.
Yep.
Okay, I remember that.
He was the mailman in Jingle all the way. He
Yeah,
was hilarious,
he is so
right?
funny. So I love to see him in this role. He got a lot of roles from back in the, oh,
Yeah.
Good Burger. He was in Good Burger too.
He was the manager of Good Burger.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. I couldn't remember what it was from. All right, so back to the episode. Okay, so in this episode, remember Denise comes in and she's all bummed because she made a D, I think, in calculus, right?
Yeah, she had like just failed a very important test and felt like, she couldn't go home because her parents were gonna kill her. We've all
hmm
been there.
We've
We've
all been
all
there.
been there. There, college, you just get that one course. That professor is just harder than the rest of the professors, right? And you got to seek just a little bit of help. Trust me, I've been there. I wasn't no straight A student, so
What was your
you
course? What
know.
was the one that you failed for the first time?
Um, French,
You
right?
took
I
French?
go in, I took French. I didn't pass it. Like I ended up sliding over to Spanish. You know what I mean? But I took French and he never spoke English. Like I don't know. As soon as we
It was
came
French
in, he
one.
started
It was
talking.
the first one.
It was like the first one. I was like, hey, introduce us. French toast, French fries, like hook us up. Don't just start talking French
That's
off
bad.
rip. But it's
Hmm.
crazy because even to this day, the only thing that I remember him saying was anytime like you failed a test or you failed something like that, and you went to go for help, he was like, come see, come sa. I was like, okay, I'm gonna hold that. And I say it all the time. Like
What does it
if something
mean?
happens, he was like, so, come see, come sa. Like he would say it all the time, like he didn't care. And I was like, I'm dropping this. This guy didn't care. I'm dropping this course. I'm good.
So it
Let
wasn't
me
on your
go to
transcript
Spanish.
then.
It was not on my. I dropped it.
That's what's
It
up. That's what's up.
I played the smart role, got out of there. And then I took Spanish. Spanish was dope.
Mhm.
I got through Spanish. Can I
Um,
speak? Absolutely not.
I failed
But,
English 1101. First class I ever failed in
you
my entire life. English 1101.
you speak English though.
That's not how you pass the class. I know a bunch of people that speak Spanish and failed Spanish. I couldn't write when I got to college. At UGA, first class I ever failed in my entire life was English 1101. And I worked my ass off in that class. I didn't mean to cuss. I worked my
And you
butt
know,
off in that class and I still failed it. I got it
let me
taken off
tell
my
you what's crazy.
transcript though.
I'm a writer. I'm a writer. I love to write. You know what I mean? I'm like a poetry guy. Like I love poetry. Like especially some real good poetry, man. Snap your fingers, touch your soul type of poetry. So I mean my English class was dope. I enjoyed every bit of it. Until, I didn't enjoy 10-page papers, but I definitely enjoyed being able to write in general. You
I
know.
enjoy
I thought
writing
it
now, hence this dissertation I've been working on like heavy. But back then I didn't know how to, and she wasn't teaching us. She just assumed everyone knew how to write, and she favored the football players in the class. So when that dude next to me passed and I didn't, I took that straight to the dean. I got it taken off my transcript because I know I worked harder than he did. He was the first one to finish the final because it was on his birthday, and then that guy couldn't write. So as soon as he passed and I didn't, huh?
I'm telling.
Oh, I
Forget all
definitely
that.
told. He signed the paper for me too. I definitely told. And they got taken off my transcript and I just retook it the next semester. Yeah, that
No, I
was
could.
tough.
But I can't say I was a music major, right? So there were some times where music got a little bit difficult and we got together as a group. Like we didn't necessarily go get a tutor, but we a few of us got together and we were able to help each other where we were lacking and where others were strong, and we kind of just got together in my room. We figured it out. It was like three or four of us. Had like a little
Yeah.
tiny bootleg keyboard. And we got together and it worked out good, man. It worked out real good, made us stronger, made us closer. It was cool. It was definitely much needed.
I love that. As you know, I was a math major, so I wasn't struggling in
Took,
calculus like
you took,
Denise was.
you took calculus.
I took Calc 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, I didn't get no higher than algebra. So, you know what I
My
mean? Music,
my bachelor's
two
in
algebra.
math, so I took probably 90% of the math classes at my institution, and it was dope. It got hard towards the end when you wasn't writing in numbers, you was writing in Greek terms and not complete sentences. It got a little difficult. But early on, my freshman year, I was a tutor. I tutored the football team at UGA. It
I,
was good
I,
money.
I just really want to say this, right? Because I like numbers. I'm a numbers guy, right?
Same.
But I still don't use y equals 15. Like I don't use that type of I'll
You
just throw
do
that out
though.
there.
But you do though. You
You
do.
know,
You use algebra
some
every single
some of
day. You pay
those
your bills.
some of those things, like I pay my bills, but
You put
I
gas in
don't
your car.
necessarily say, yeah, no. I don't even look at the numbers. I just kind of when it thing clicks, I'm done. That's
Okay,
how
do you ever
that
pay
works.
with cash? Or you always paying your card?
I always pay my who carries cash in 2025
I don't
unless
carry very
you
often, but recently I carry cash, and so does your godchild. She carries cash. So when you go inside and you have to pay your gas, because a lot of people, our listeners, probably carry cash. So when you go pay for gas, you have to estimate how much your tank can fill. right? Like how much gas is it going to take? So when you give them $10, $20, or whatever the case may be, you're guesstimating that unknown variable of how much space you have in a gas tank. Now you're not sitting in your head figuring out an equation, but logically you're doing it all the math in your head.
Now I'm putting that on my story later on. Now I gotta put on my story. How many people use algebra in their everyday
Put it on
life?
this cash. Put it on this story. Put it on Hillman Rewind. Make
Like,
them follow
see,
all your people and see.
now I have to ask, right?
We
Because
do. We use it every
Johnny
day.
had 5 apples. Like that's how
All right. So how
like
about how about your sleep? What you saying? How you ain't got no sleep this week? You be doing math in your
yeah, no,
head, like what time I gotta get up based on what time it is now, how far I gotta drive. All that stuff is algebra.
no.
Just admit
I
it.
kind of hate seeing. It's all good. I got a cell phone, does a lot of that stuff. But technology helps me out a lot, right?
And it dumbs
I put
down
it in my
the
but
population
I
too.
do a lot of math, right?
I
Y'all could
know.
tell me, like, this is something where I do a lot of math, is I say, if I hit the lotto, how much will I have and what am I going to spend it on? I do that so often that I'm just waiting for that blessing to kind of drop down,
We
Shout
should have
out
made the
to
Hillman
Joy.
homework a math question. I think that would have been fun. People would have been engaged and figuring things
Right.
out for real.
They would have been Dwayne Wayne, King Calculus, right?
Our
So let's talk
queen,
about sleep. Let's talk about sleeping on people, right? How Denise didn't even know, like she really was sleeping as Miss the Dwayne Wayne was so thirsty that they didn't even think he was smart enough to be a tutor. Like
are
how
you offended by
it,
that?
I feel like the thirst does not take away from the intelligence. I just want the ladies, the thirst does not take away from the intelligence. Dwayne Wayne showed us that. He could be as thirsty can be, but the man was a genius when it came to the calculus,
We're not there
right?
yet, but I'm gonna drop a line. I'm gonna drop a line that he says in there. And he says, I wish you women would look beyond my body to my mind.
Beyond my body to my that's real.
Because men
That's
do that all
real.
the time. Men are the ones who really be looking straight at a woman's body and not caring about her intellect.
Let's okay, let's
He flipped the
rewind
script
that real
there.
quick.
Let's rewind it. Go ahead.
No. Let's rewind that. Men do that publicly. Women just do it in private. That's all that is. Women do it in private. Men do it publicly. Give me the real. Do it in my face. Don't wait till you get to your homegirl or your homegirl chat and talk about it. Do it in my be thirsty in my face, right? So and
That's
then I
not
know
thirsty. They be evaluating you.
we equal on the thirst. You know what I mean? You think my body look nice? Say that. Don't wait till you get girl, his body. Nah, don't nobody wait. I want to hear the compliment. And we just compliment to your face.
But see, I don't be
You
wanting
know,
to hear that all the time. Like I like compliments
now
early.
there's a difference though. Dwayne Wayne hollering back to back. Don't get shot down and then turn around on your shoulder and be like, girl, you hit this movie. At least let her get outside, right? Before you try to bite down
So
on
he put himself
somebody.
out there like he thirsty and not like he's intelligent. You know what I'm saying? He asked her, he said, oh, let me tutor you. Then he immediately went to, let me take you to the movie. Let me get your mind off of it. He wasn't trying to sell himself as an intelligent person. He was selling
But
his body
she shot him down as he said
because
he
he's
was King
always selling
Calculus.
his body. He did. And then he immediately said, let's go to the movies. How can you
Yeah,
believe him
why
if he
not?
switched his mind so quickly? That's not realistic.
That means his body's working. His body's always, I mean, you know what I mean? His mind is
His
always
body's
going.
working. No, you say his body is working. His body's working for him.
Yeah, all of it. All of it. The brain is a part of the body. You know what I mean? It's not outside of the body. The brain is part of the body.
All right.
So
So after that, after he got her right with the calculus, they missed curfew. What do you think? We don't have this in our notes, but what do you think about him going through Whitley's room to get out? Like, did you have a different solution? Would you have done something differently in that situation?
I'm not gonna lie, I would have slept in that room. I would have slept in the library. They would have to, I was like, that door gonna open in the morning, then I'm gonna slide out. Just when you wake up, come in here. Give me the little knot. Doop, 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 doop. Give me the little knot. So I know it's you. And then I know it's time to slide out because you'll be dressed for class and everything. I just have to take the L on my first class. But I'm not climbing down nobody's fire escape. That's not happening.
I wonder why
Right.
they
I'm not
didn't stay in there either. Like, do you think she's gonna check it in the middle of the night? Like, do a room hall check? Because how do you know if people make
right.
curfew or not? How do you know if people not out of town for the night?
She was in her role. She locked the door. She was going to bed. Son was asleep. You know what I
And it was
mean?
locked inside though. There's not an alarm. How come you couldn't just go out the front door?
Right. But you didn't want it. What if they came down the steps and she heard that lock click?
She can't
Her
hear the lock
apartment
click. She got a whole son.
right.
No, but
The
remember
mom,
Denise the other night?
the
Denise
mom.
slept on the couch. She a mom, but Denise slept on the couch and Stevie didn't come out. They had a whole conversation out there. They could be in the dorm. She could have
No,
turned
that's
the TV
real.
on. They could have went out the front door, but they
That's
didn't
real. But the thought
because
was not that Stevie was gonna catch him, but somebody else in the hall. That was also a
oh, that's a
thought
good
too.
point.
A lot of people in the dorm. What if somebody was downstairs? She didn't know who was downstairs. She just
Yeah.
knew because she was down there watching the movie and all that stuff like that. They just knew they was past curfew. So they didn't
Mm-hmm.
even look to see if the group
Right.
was
Because
down.
they were scared. They wasn't thinking straight.
Realistically, I would have sent her, hey, go downstairs, see if the coast is clear, see if I can get out the front door. Come back, let me know what's up. Right? Like that's real. But TV drama,
And they're
you gotta
also
make it
kids, so
funny.
you might not have been thinking straight back then. But what's crazy to me is you just said somebody was out in the lobby. That one girl saw Stevie, and then the whole campus found out about it.
Oh yeah, yeah, facts. No, that's facts.
And she's been in all
But
the
that's
episodes. I don't like her. Why are you telling people business?
yeah. See,
She don't
look,
even know
this
the
is the
half
thing
of
though.
it.
That's how campus works, though. How campus works is telephone. So it went from one thing to a million other things. You know what I mean? And Dwayne Wayne didn't make it no better. He told the truth without telling the truth. Right? He was like, "Yo, I did go through your room. I ain't even gonna
He said, I
lie."
can't lie. Yeah, I did it. My bad.
He deserved.
He did.
He
He
did
said he was
deserve
on his
that.
way from somewhere else going through her room. He told the truth the whole time.
He did. He did. But see that is the truth. But it's how you present it. Right? Yeah, you said the
Mhm.
words. The words doesn't mean that it's necessarily the truth. You just use it in a way to make you look good. You know what I
We just talked
mean?
about that yesterday about lying. Remember that?
It's talk, man. Look,
He
just I
technically
can't say
didn't lie.
it, but he didn't lie. He did tell the truth. He was in her room. She just didn't know no better. You know what I mean? She didn't know. But what I can say is it can ruin reputations. Like you gotta seek the truth. I'm a firm believer. I'm gonna go ask. You know what I mean? Just try not to ask in front of people, but I'm gonna ask because a rumor gonna have you messed up. When
Okay,
we
did
was
you
in school,
notice when Whitley came downstairs, like in the cafeteria, she was in that scarlet red? Did you notice that?
yeah, I did notice she was
So
in
she was
in
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 all
the
red when she said, "Tell the truth, Dwayne. Dwayne, you just tell the truth." Then she slapped him or whatever. At the end, she was in all white. So she had this little symbolic. I like the symbolics of it, like her being red and scarlet, and then pure as white snow when she comes in for the last meeting, donating to Goodwill. Did you hear that drop? I was donating
yeah,
clothes to Goodwill.
right,
Rumors. Rumors can be damaging. Can you remember any
right. They
college
they
rumors?
depending on the rumor, right? The rumor can either damage you or it can make you like people go to college and they reinvent themselves all the time,
That's
right?
true.
You're back at home, you was a nerd. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? No friends. You get to college, you meet some people, and ain't nobody been where you from your city. So now you just making it up. You know what I mean? Like it's kind of similar to I had a cousin that went to Benedict, right? Shout out to Joey. Joey calls me and says, "Hey, cuz I got my homeboy, he say he from Atlanta, right?" So I'm like, "What part of Atlanta?" He goes and asks him, right? I just hear him in the background, "Hey, what part of Atlanta you from?" Knowing that my cousin at the time had never been out here to Georgia because he's in South
Hmm.
Carolina, he goes Decatur. So all you hear in the background is my friends that are from Atlanta. Decatur ain't Atlanta. Like he fronting. Like tell your boy he fronting. So he out here, he inventing himself to be this Atlanta native. You know what I mean? And you not. You from Decatur. It's a big difference. You know what I'm saying? So it's like when you go to college and people don't know, you only know what people tell you, right? You could have been the top
Right.
athlete in your high school when you go off to college and never played ball a day in your life. If nobody from your high school went to that college, now you're the top athlete. Yeah, man, I used to play ball, but man, I'm over that. You know what I mean? I don't really play ball no more like that. But I started
Who
every
got
game.
time? Who got time to remember lies like that? I changed my
I'm t-
name. I went by a different name when I got to college. I really did do that. We're not gonna
See,
say the other name because there was just too many
I
of
just
them.
I kept it funky the whole time. Like I'm that friend. I'm the friend that's like, if you need to know the truth, I'm gonna tell the truth, right? I'm that's just what it is. I'm gonna keep it funky. And so if you need to know like what you think about this, I'm gonna tell you the truth. I've always been Ray. I didn't fake it. You know what I mean? Somebody called me Diggy one day, and that kind of stuck. That's where DJ Diggy came from. I don't know where it came from, but one of my frat brothers was like, "Man, look, there go Diggy," and I was like, "I like that," and I kept it right.
I mean,
And
I
then
think I changed a lot in college, but I think I changed for all good things. I think I found my voice. I liked who I am. I think everyone goes to college. You're supposed to evolve. You're not supposed to come in being the same person. I didn't change my identity. I just discovered who the adult version of myself was, just getting out the house and being around different people. I think that's what college kids should be doing.
see, but so this is my thing about being in college, especially when it comes to rumors, right? All it takes is for somebody to kick it with somebody, right?
Hmm.
And it'd be that guy who does exactly what Dwayne Wayne did. Like, oh yeah, we chill. I don't kiss and tell. You know how that goes. Now this girl's a freak. They like, man, look, you need to get with such and such. She a freak. You know what I mean? I was just talking to old buddy. He was talking about he was out with her and he whoop de whoop. You know how that go. And then now all of a sudden everybody thinks this girl's a freak. And she still got her virtue. You know what I'm saying? She chilling. They kicked it, they had a good time and kept it pushing. He didn't even get a kiss, a handshake, a hug, nothing. Right. But or he got a hug and somebody saw the walk off. And when they asked the question, he didn't necessarily answer the question, but he left it to them. Leaving that stuff to the imagination is how rumors start,
Facts. And that doesn't happen
right?
with men. That happens with women. Can you
It
think of
it
a
happens.
situation that it ruined a man? A rumor like that?
Um, I think yeah, no. There's those rumors back in the day. There was rumors like the whole gay thing was big for a while, right? Nowadays, a
Okay.
lot more is accepted than it was back then. So it was like everybody wanted to be a manly man, a manly man, right? That's just what it is. And then that's as soon as a rumor come out, like, oh, he gay, it'll fly. You know what I mean? It could
Hmm.
have some people thinking some stuff. It could stop some girls from hollering at you, or some girls to holler at you, but not in that way because they want a gay bestie. You know what I mean? So, like, I think that's probably one of the biggest things. But these days, I mean, you can negate that so quick, that it's not even funny. But back then, it was like it was so many people that didn't talk about it like they should have, right? People didn't try to take the time to understand it the way that society tries to understand it these days. That if you heard it, it was like, man, I'm not confronting him about that. You know what I'm saying? So
That's
now the
real.
rumor is that's man, I heard I heard Tommy was over here. He was with Jake, and you know how they get down. You know what I mean? Like that was like a
Or
thing. You know what
association.
I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, association, right? Instead of it being like a thing that a heterosexual male and someone who's homosexual, they could just be friends. One of my closest friends is gay,
Hmm.
right? My daughter's godfather, he's gay. And I wouldn't change him for the world. Like he's been there for me through college. You know what I'm saying? That's
Right.
my guy, right? That's my brother. He's been my parents. He's been my family. You know what I mean? He is my brother at the end of the day. So it's like for back when it wasn't really talked about like that, it was like people would look, but you know if you aren't, if you was raised right, you know what I mean? You ain't gotta explain that to nobody. You know what I'm saying? You know what you like, you know?
I
It
mean,
is
yeah,
what it
I'm here
is.
for it. That's a good example. You did real good.
But
I
we
think, but
that ain't the thing. That you got hearings at a PWI?
do we have hearings? Oh, like
Yeah,
at the dorm. Yeah. Yeah, we got that. Okay, so I
nah,
had I had one. I
Mhm.
told you my roommate had to move out. We have these disagreements and the whole bloody rug situation. Someone broke their nose in my room. I wanted the rug
Oh,
gone.
you didn't go into deep detail. You said blood and then you kept it
Okay, let's
pushing.
go
I thought
for it. Let's go
two
for it.
women, blood, that's deep. Right.
So it was my 19th birthday, and I had worked at the dorm across the way. I came home at midnight from my shift, and she was sleeping there in her loft with a dude. Some point in the middle of the night, he rolled off her loft onto that concrete floor and broke his nose. He bled all over the carpet. He proceeded to urinate in my wire trash can that had no bag.
Was he drunk?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
He bled on all of my food, my brand new free t-shirts I got that day. And I tried to give him napkins, but I'm a black woman and he's white, so he didn't take them. And he left,
mm.
right? I woke her
Don't
up.
don't don't drink
Huh?
in college, kid. Don't drink in college,
Don't
kids.
drink in
You
college.
see
Don't drink in college.
what the results
Bad
are.
situation. So I woke her up and I told her. She went and found him. He had like fell asleep in the hallway. I had an 8 o'clock class. When I went to class, they hadn't been back yet. When I got back from class, it was a Friday. She was gone for the weekend. She left a note that said she was sorry. She bought a little new small bathroom rug to put on top of our really big rug, and she was gone. There was blood on my things and on the door, so I cleaned up. I rolled up the rug. She had a bunch, it bled through the rug, whole bunch of stuff. I wanted her to get rid of it. She said that rug cost $40 and she wasn't gonna get rid of it. I said either the rug goes or you. We had to have that little mediation with our
$40 is a
CA,
lot.
whatever. It was blood. I'm not walking over dry blood.
40 is 40 like 400
Her parents
in
paid for
college.
that.
That's
She
a
was a
lot of
very
ramen
well-off
noodles.
kid. Negative.
That's a lot of ramen noodles.
So
I'm
we had a
just saying.
meeting, come to Jesus. They placed her somewhere different, and I had a room for myself the rest of the year. The end.
That's that's real. That's
Yeah.
real.
Her name was Jennifer, and I was glad to have the room to myself.
Yo, shout out to Jennifer. Yo, I hope you're doing well these days, Jennifer.
Me
Shout out to
too,
I don't know.
Jennifer. I
Nah, you're
mean,
doing big things.
hope she's sober and
Right.
graduated.
I'm gonna
Some
be
nice way.
honest. You got beef. You have beef in HBCU. You better go to your RA and just either you need to volunteer to move or you need to have your RA go talk to that person. Like we don't have hearings. You know what I mean? I don't think I've
Y'all
ever
don't
been in a
discuss it?
dorm where they're like, no. Like I had a roommate one year when I was at one semester when I was at Benedict, and he was on the basketball team, man. And dude was a little weird. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna say his name, but it's a little weird. You know who you are, weirdo. And we had no visitation, right? We had no visitation. I told you that. Like, you can't have no girls in your room.
Hmm.
And we went to go leave. The marching man had an away game, right? Get to the bus. I'm with my crab brother. Dang, BJ, forgot my headphones. Forgot my don't age me, but forgot my CD player, right?
You forgot your
Don't
CD
age me.
player in college? Wow, that's cute.
Yeah,
CD player.
yo, don't do that.
I love it. I love
So
it. I'm here for it.
we go back to the room. I start hearing these noises, right? So I'm like, dude, I snuck a girl in here. So I hit the Ace Ventura with the keys. Bling, bling, bling. My man didn't wait for us to really leave, right? He had he was butt naked in a chair. He was looking at a flick. I open the door. He goes, jumps up, runs in the closet, right? So of course, super awkward
Oh my
now. Super.
gosh.
I act like I didn't see him. I was just like, man, why would he leave this TV on? Like terrible acting. Was like, why would you do that? Went, turned it off. I saw it. It was weird because I was like, I saw this big hand chunk of hand grease, right? And I was like, grease? It was weird, right? So I just
Was
kind of
it hair
left.
grease?
You hair grease. No, I didn't leave with the hair grease. I just left. I grabbed
No,
my
I'm just
CD
saying. Okay.
player. I kept it pushing, right? This is how you know somebody's like, dang, I know he saw me. I came back, room spotless, right? I left my side a little dirty. My side was perfect. Sneakers in order, everything. He goes to the RA at the time, right? Her name was Dana. Shout out to Dana, right? Cool people. Zeta. She goes to her and he switches rooms, right? And I'm like, but he only switches rooms because my crab brother, all of us, we all freshmen, we told what we saw. Bro, let me tell you what I just saw in the room,
So you
right?
started the
So
rumor and it
no,
escalated.
no, 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 that joke was real. A rumor means that there's some
I
false,
know it, but
false.
I'm saying other stuff get added to it once the story's out
No,
there.
no, we added nothing. This is how he ended up. This is how he ended up moving out. He tried to play cool. He hung out with the band members. He was talking about one of my crab brothers, DJ, talking trash. DJ was kind of little, pigeon toed, whatever. He was trying to roast.
Mhm.
DJ was like, "You better chill," and I'm like, "DJ, don't do it." Right? So he's still going in on DJ. DJ was like, "Man, shut up, Jack Meat." All the band members bust out laughing. I'm talking about in tears. My man like walked off. Next thing you know, he out of the room. He's telling the RA that it was me that got caught. Right now, that's the rumor. He was telling, man, I can't work with him. This is how he was in the room, not knowing I was cool with the RA. So when she came and told me, I was like, that's not even a thing. He just got embarrassed in front of all the freshmen, because he got caught up by me and my crab brother, and then that's how I ended up with the roommate from Connecticut.
Right.
Remember a
Yeah,
couple
yeah, yeah.
episodes, I was like, I got a roommate who's from Connecticut. We was cool, whatever. That's how I ended up with that
So
roommate.
we
Is
both got roommate stories. You
yeah,
completely
yeah, yeah.
forgot.
No, no.
Oh, buddy, you didn't even bring it up.
Yeah, I definitely forgot about him, right? But shout out to him. I hope you're doing well. Hope you end up in the NBA, right? Whatever.
Hope you
But
got a wife, you know what I'm saying, helping you out
I
these
hope you got a
days.
wife. Hope she not into podcasts because she's gonna hear this story and you know who you are.
She's not
Nasty.
gonna know. Wow. Okay. So this is gonna be an explicit one. Okay, cool. Noted. I'm gonna make sure I write that down. I mean, I
Right.
think that's it. Did we hit all the highlights of the episode?
I think so. No, 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 no. Okay, so let's talk about
Okay.
this, right? Because a lot of people, I feel like a lot of people ain't raised right, right? I love how Denise was just like, you know what? I'm not about to let them go down like that, right? She was able to cancel that rumor. She was able to make sure Dwayne Wayne didn't get in trouble. That's like a good spirit. I feel like in general, people should have people like that around them. I would have a
Yeah.
Denise rocking with me. Because I know at the end of the day, she gonna be honest. She not gonna let no foul stuff go down, right? And then when nobody wanted to talk to Whitley because they was looking at her like she was a freak, she walked up like, "Hey,
She
how you
spoke to
doing?"
her. Yeah.
Yes, she knew the truth. Obviously, she felt guilty. She knew the truth, but she was like, "Hey, how you holding up? Like, what's going on? How you doing?" You know what I mean? So I appreciate her character. I
And she
love a person.
apologized. She humbly
And
apologized. Yeah.
she apologized for the paper.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't think we had access to the school paper like that at Clark, right? But she was able to put an article in the paper. I wish.
Yeah.
Because you know what type of stuff I would have just randomly went and shouted that out. I would have threw the parties in the paper real quick.
I bet. Do you
Hey,
remember the name of your
she was
paper?
gonna be over here on this day. Shout out. You know what I mean? That's what how it would have been.
Do they still have a paper? Do you remember the name of it?
Um, does Clark Atlanta have a paper?
Yeah.
No, I don't think so. I think everything's digital these days.
I used to love
I don't
getting a
even remember
paper.
back then. It was like, colleges come up with like what they think is the cutest names, and it'd be like the Panther Paw, right? Like it'd be so hallmark. It'd be good
Ours was
for
the
for
red and
some
black.
y'all's were called the red and black.
Yeah. I think I still have some copies I probably need to throw away from like big
Paper was called the
games.
red and black. Kind of like
Yeah. Like our school
oh,
colors.
oh yeah, school colors. I was thinking something else. All right, cool. That's what's up. All
Yeah.
right.
I used to
The
get it every
red and
day
black.
on the way to my 8 o'clock class. It's because it's
Word.
real thin paper. And we have like bulldog cartoons. Anyway. All right. So homework. What's the homework for today?
All right. So Hillman family, we dealing with the homework. Okay, so what's the wildest, right? Or the funniest rumor you ever had or you ever heard while you were in college, right? We need you to share your stories in the comments or on our social media. Drop your answers in the comments or tag us on the social media, right? Hashtag Hillman Homework. You can find us on IG, on YouTube, and our Facebook page will be coming soon. So look out for the Facebook page, right? We moving up, we making
We're moving
moves. You know
up.
what I'm saying?
So before
Right.
we go,
So
let me give you my favorite quotes. I already shared one quote from the episode, but my second quote of the day is uh okay, so remember we talked about how Dwayne was like, you just want me for my body and not my brain. So at the end of their whole tutoring session, Denise says to him, I misjudged you. You really do have a good mind. I picked that quote because this whole episode was about rumors and misjudgment. And we also talked about us like portraying who we want to be in our new like roles as college kids. So I misjudged you. You really do have a good mind. I think that speaks to just letting people show you who they are. Don't assume that you know something about somebody just based on your first interaction, their first appearance. So that's my line. I misjudge you. You have a good mind. Ray, you have a good mind.
oh, that's what's I mean, I appreciate that. I
You do.
appreciate you judge me with my mind and not my body. You know what I'm saying? Not my body. I appreciate that. All right,
Hmm.
so let's connect. The song, let's connect, right? So I never tell Nikki Nick what the song is. She never wants to hear what the song is. She says, let's wait until we are on the air, right? So
Yep.
my song is dealing with Whitley, right? There was a rumor about Whitley. I chose 1988. Bobby Brown, my prerogative, right? No, that's real. Everybody always talking all that stuff about me, right? That's
Hmm.
that's my that's my song, right? Go check it out if you
I
haven't
like it.
heard it. You know, it's too old for you. Check it out. Shout out to Bobby Brown, like you know what I mean. My prerogative. That's the song. That's what it is, right?
What year that come out?
1988.
That is wild. That is wild that I know that song. I was 4 when that came out. That's
That's
crazy.
because it was
It's
a classic. You
timeless. It was.
know, timeless. It's Bobby
All right.
Brown. You know.
I like it. I like it. That was a good one. I appreciate it. All right,
All right,
so
no.
before we go, remember that words have power, so make your words count.
Right. And like a good beat, you know what I mean? Keep the vibe going and let the music play, man. Stay cool, y'all. Stay cool.
See y'all next time, Hillman family.
See y'all next time.